Dr. Jay Rayburn, APR, CPRC, died last month in Tallahassee. He was a PR practitioner and educator for 45 years, 35 of those years at FSU in Tallahassee. He served as president of FPRA, founding chair of the Counselors Network, and represented the association for 12 years on the Universal Accreditation Board. Dr. Rayburn was adored by his students and members of this association. We recently spoke with some of the colleagues who knew him best over the years, and they shared their memories and experiences with Dr. J.
I met Jay for the first time in 1985, just after he returned to Tallahassee to begin teaching at FSU, and just before I launched my own PR firm, R.B. Oppenheim Associates. Ironically, we did not meet because of our PR connection, but because of his research connection with my ex-wife, Annalise. She introduced us. I've never quite forgiven her for that.
What I treasured most about Jay was his stories. I loved when he would come into my office, sit down. We'd tell stories about students, about clients. We gossiped a little. We shared a laugh. And then we shared a Kentucky bourbon.
We had more of a mentor-mentor relationship where he would call me or I would call him as a sounding board, to discuss some PR issue. And between the two of us, we always came up with a blended solution that was much better than either one of us could come up with.
Jay was a man of big ideas. He could let his imagination go and came up with wonderful ones, things that we wouldn't think of.
When I think of Jay, I think about impact and the lives he has influenced. And that is his legacy. The folks who passed through his classrooms, the lives he influenced within FPRA, how he helped advance our profession.
He was the first to say to me, and maybe to you, get your APR, get your CPRC. He was the first to challenge any idea or assumption. He seemed to take a special joy in that.
Our colleague believed FPRA's greatest strength is its pathway to individual growth. Terrific senior guidance always has been available to every member. He would say to young people, introduce yourself to us, get to know us, seek help and direction. We'll be there for you. That's the eternal monument we must concentrate on building with Dr. Rayburn's name on it.
The one thing I really enjoyed about Jay was he was so genuine, so authentic. He was genuinely funny. One day he was talking with my wife and they determined that both of them had relatives from Kentucky, and he said, where was your mother from in Kentucky? And my wife said, Pineville. And he said, ooh, that's up there where they marry their cousins.
Now, who knew that our profession, the public relations profession, was so young that the founder was still alive? I'm really grateful that Jay gave us the gift of bringing Edward Bernays to us. I think Jay gifted him with a time where we could revere him and hear his stories firsthand and just recognize in a wonderful way a man who was very important to our profession.
It's not often that you meet someone who just takes you in like their own and invests so much time in you as a human being. And because he did that for me, I was able to grow as a person, grow as a professional. I really, really value how much of a family member he was of mine and the relationship that I will continue to have as time goes on with his girls and his wife, Rebecca.
It was in his class that I realized that I had found my calling. His passion for the profession, I caught it. I realized that the public relations profession has the power for change. I wanted to be a catalyst for change.
Jay played a huge role in teaching me how to be a good counselor. He also was a great ethical compass and would often be a sounding board for me when I would find myself caught between a client's expectations and my own principles.
Jay's legacy, his very powerful legacy, lives on, and we are better for him.
I'm grateful that Jay learned earlier this summer how much his friends and colleagues love and respect him. And that was shown recently when he was made aware that a scholarship was made in his name.
He was totally overwhelmed so much that he was speechless. I've never seen the man speechless in my life, and he considered it a great, great honor from his peers.
Now that we've totally surprised you, would you like to say anything?
Well, if I've thought about it, I would have had some eloquent remarks to make, but this is not what I thought this meeting was going to be about. But obviously, I'm truly flattered, and thank you. I don't know how this happened, but that's a great honor. Bob Davis has one named after him. Thank you all. I don't know who made this decision. I guess it was a collective decision by some, but to all those who did it, those of you here who were part of that, please thank everybody else. And I'm truly flattered, but I'm also kind of speechless.
Jay was a first-rate professional and a friend, and I, for one, will never forget him.
Jay, I know you're watching us today. I hope you're laughing. I hope you're holding a mint julep. And please know that we will be telling your stories for several generations.
Jay Rayburn allowed me to be his friend, even though I'm a Gator.
Jay was a dear friend of mine, one that I know many of you will miss terribly.
But most importantly, he taught me to respect the traditions of the Kentucky Derby, to savor a good Kentucky bourbon, and how to make a proper mint julep. I will toast him with one on the first Saturday in May for as long as I'm able to raise a pewter cup.